Working out.
So you wake up one morning.
Okay, testing. You guys hear me?
Okay, testing. You guys hear me?
Okay, perfect. So I'll first talk a little bit about my thoughts, and this is about Bitcoin, the new price that we just hit today. So we broke out of around the 58,000 mark, and so we quickly shot up to 61,000. I think at some point we hit over 61,500. So what am I planning to do? I'm planning to buy more Bitcoin. I'm planning to sell some Bitcoin. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And so I've been talking about Bitcoin on the channel a little bit ever since Bitcoin was 16,000. And so you guys would know that I was accumulating Bitcoin, especially after it broke the technical level of 13,000. So I was buying more and more Bitcoin. And as we went to 18,000, I bought more Bitcoin. And then finally, when we hit 30,000, especially when Elon Musk changed his view and really liked Bitcoin, was pro Bitcoin, I bought a lot more in the 30 to 34,000 range. And I still kept buying even as high as 51,000. And even recently, we went to 57,000, went back down to 55,000. I bought more at 55,000. And so that was my last buy. Now that we're hitting over this 61,000 price, I'm thinking to start to scale out of Bitcoin a little bit. And maybe not within Bitcoin itself, but I have a ton of miners, Mara, Riot. So I'm thinking about a little bit to start to sell a little bit with Mara and Riot because they oftentimes have these overreactions and spike massively to the upside. And so when these things happen, I'm gonna take advantage a little bit and take some profits and be more disciplined now and not necessarily be a continuous buyer here. Again, these are my current thoughts. These might change as things progress. And I think that Bitcoin should be priced at a very high value. I think it's important. I think we are seeing new news every day, if not, at least every week, about adoption, about companies buying more Bitcoin. I think JPM bought some Bitcoin assets recently, including GBTC, including not Mara, but Riot, SI, MSTR, and Square. So a lot of assets that they're buying that are Bitcoin related. It's kind of this basket. It's kind of a similar basket that I have in terms of the crypto assets that I'm buying because we don't have these ETFs available to us. So I'm just buying a basket of some Riot here, some MSTR there, something like that. So I'm going to be selling a little bit into strength as I see it. And then in addition, what are some price targets that I'm seeing for Bitcoin? I wouldn't be surprised for us to go back down and retest 58,000 at the same time. I'm thinking that Bitcoin will probably go to maybe the fib level of 68,000. We could probably go all the way to the psychological level of 70,000. This is the short to medium term here we're talking about. And the all important level, both psychological and technical, of the 69,420. I'm just joking a little bit about that number, but these are some numbers that I'm paying attention to in terms of where we might go to the upside. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to be scaling out a little bit because I have an overweight position in my crypto exposure right now. I think it's like 25% of my portfolio. So I'll be trying to be more disciplined, selling a little bit now instead of I've been in continuous accumulation mode up until this point. So that's my thoughts on the moment. If you guys have any questions, I'll quickly ask. Thoughts on Grayscale? I think Grayscale is a really interesting opportunity, especially arbitrage, if it being a negative premium at the moment. So if you ever see it have a negative premium, that might be a pretty interesting thing that you would theoretically sell Bitcoin, buy that, for example, and then once the premium resolves, you can sell that, buy Bitcoin, something like that. Or you buy GBTC, once the premium resolves, you can sell that and buy the ETF whenever the ETF comes out. So the ETF and also Coinbase are some interesting things to be aware of. First of all, these are super bullish for Bitcoin. And either this is going to be a catalyst that propelled Bitcoin even further, but this could be the ultimate hype as well. So we have to be aware of when Coinbase IPOs, when we have the ETF, these are bullish for Bitcoin, but if the run up goes pretty massively, this could also be an indication of a top of Bitcoin. So we have to be aware. At least I'm paying attention to these key times and these key areas. I know this is not about AMC, video at AMC. I'll look into AMC and then I'll at least reply to one of your comments about AMC. If not, do a video at AMC. AMC is pretty interesting. Recovery plays. So those are some of my thoughts about Bitcoin and some of the things I'm doing and the key numbers, and also there's some dates that I'm thinking about, these catalysts. A big catalyst for me up until this point was I was thinking, especially when I was buying into the 20K level, I was thinking that Bitcoin would probably double when you have a big company like Apple or someone buying some Bitcoin. And so we had Tesla buy Bitcoin at I think 34K or 33K, and it hasn't quite doubled, but we're gonna quickly be at that doubling point. So this is where I'm turning a little bit more, just more cautious. I'm gonna be less in the accumulation mode and just kind of being more defensive, selling into strength, especially when you have Mara and Riot have these crazy spikes. I'll be selling covered calls for those definitely, and I've been kind of more hesitant or just be selling crazy out of the money calls for those assets. Okay, well, I hope you guys got some value from this content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.